The serene landscape of Pahalgam, a picturesque town nestled in the Himalayas, was shattered on April 22, 2025. A devastating terror attack claimed the lives of 26 innocent people, casting a pall over the region. India, reeling from the attack, pointed fingers at Pakistan, accusing its neighbor of harboring and supporting the perpetrators. In retaliation, India launched Operation Sindoor, a series of targeted strikes against what it claimed were terrorist infrastructure and launch pads within Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The operation, swift and calculated, marked a significant escalation in the already tense relations between the two nuclear-armed neighbors. The international community watched, with bated breath, apprehensive of a wider conflict. As India asserted its right to defend itself against cross-border terrorism, the world awaited the response of global powers, particularly that of Russia, India's long-standing ally. The attack on Pahalgam served as a grim reminder of the volatile security situation in the region. India's decision to respond militarily underscored its growing intolerance towards what it perceives as Pakistan's continued support for terrorist groups operating from its soil. Operation Sindoor, while presented as a counter-terrorism measure, also highlighted India's willingness to flex its military muscle and send a strong message of deterrence to its adversaries. However, the operation also raised concerns about the potential for escalation and the need for restraint from all parties involved. The international community urged both India and Pakistan to exercise dialogue and diplomacy to de-escalate the situation and prevent further bloodshed. The world looked on, anxious to understand how the evolving geopolitical landscape, particularly in the aftermath of the Ukraine war, would shape the responses of major powers like Russia and China. In the wake of Operation Sindoor, Russia's response was notably measured. Moscow, while condemning terrorism in general terms, refrained from explicitly supporting or criticizing India's military action. This calculated silence from a nation that has historically stood by India in times of crisis raised eyebrows in diplomatic circles. The Kremlin's official statements emphasized the need for restraint from both India and Pakistan, urging them to resolve their differences through dialogue. Russia, while acknowledging India's right to self-defense, seemed to prioritize its own strategic interests in the region, particularly its desire to maintain stability in South Asia. Russia's muted response can be attributed, in part, to the evolving geopolitical landscape following the Ukraine war. The conflict has strained Russia's relations with the West and pushed it closer to China. In this context, Moscow seems to be recalibrating its foreign policy priorities, focusing on consolidating its partnerships in Asia and avoiding entanglement in conflicts that could jeopardize its strategic objectives. Furthermore, Russia has been actively cultivating closer ties with Pakistan in recent years, viewing Islamabad as a valuable partner in counterterrorism efforts and a key player in the Afghanistan peace process. This nascent Russia-Pakistan partnership, while not a full-fledged alliance, has introduced a new layer of complexity to the India-Russia relationship, prompting Moscow to tread cautiously on issues that could potentially alienate either New Delhi or Islamabad. The absence of outright Russian support for Operation Sindoor, however, does not signify a weakening of the long-standing India-Russia strategic partnership. For decades, the two nations have enjoyed a special relationship, rooted in shared history, mutual trust, and convergent interests. India has traditionally relied on Russia as its primary source of defense equipment, while Moscow has viewed New Delhi as a crucial partner in promoting a multipolar world order. This enduring partnership has weathered numerous geopolitical storms, including the Cold War, the collapse of the Soviet Union, and India's economic liberalization. Despite occasional differences, both countries have consistently reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening their strategic ties, recognizing the importance of this relationship for their respective national interests. The India-Russia partnership extends beyond defense cooperation, encompassing collaboration in areas such as energy, space exploration, and science and technology. The two countries have also been actively engaged in multilateral forums like the BRICS and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, promoting a more equitable and inclusive global order. Despite Russia's neutral stance on Operation Sindoor, both India and Russia have been keen to emphasize the enduring nature of their strategic partnership. This commitment to maintaining strong bilateral ties, even amidst differing perspectives on specific issues, underscores the depth and resilience of the India-Russia relationship. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has cast a long shadow over global affairs, prompting nations to reassess their strategic calculus and realign their partnerships. For Russia, the war has been particularly consequential, leading to unprecedented isolation from the West and a fundamental shift in its foreign policy priorities. The conflict has compelled Moscow to look eastward, seeking to bolster its ties with Asian powers like China and India as a counterweight to Western pressure. Russia's growing reliance on China for economic and diplomatic support has been evident in the aftermath of the Ukraine war, with Beijing emerging as a crucial lifeline for the Kremlin. The war in Ukraine has also forced Russia to prioritize its immediate security concerns, particularly in its near abroad, the former Soviet republics that Moscow considers to be within its sphere of influence. This renewed focus on securing its western borders has led Russia to adopt a more cautious approach towards conflicts in other parts of the world, including South Asia. In this context, Russia's neutral stance on Operation Sindoor can be interpreted as a reflection of its desire to avoid exacerbating tensions with Pakistan at a time when it is already grappling with the fallout from the Ukraine war. Moscow's decision to refrain from taking sides in the India-Pakistan conflict highlights its pragmatic approach to navigating the complexities of the post-Ukraine war world order. In another part of the world, a different story unfolds. While the events we've discussed so far have been largely shaped by geopolitics and power struggles, there are other narratives driven by innovation, culture, and human resilience. These parallel stories remind us that history is not a single thread, but a tapestry woven from countless experiences and perspectives. And, well, it's these diverse threads that truly define our shared journey. In recent years, the diplomatic relationship between India and Russia has seen a series of strategic engagements. Prime Minister Modi and President Putin have frequently emphasized the historic ties between their nations. Their conversations often revolve around defense cooperation, energy security, and regional stability. This ongoing dialogue underscores the mutual interest in maintaining a robust partnership, despite global uncertainties. Russia finds itself in a complex geopolitical landscape, trying to balance its relationships with various global powers. On one hand, it seeks to maintain strong ties with traditional partners like India. On the other hand, it navigates the challenges posed by its interactions with Western countries and China. This balancing act requires careful diplomacy, as Russia aims to protect its national interests while fostering international cooperation. India, under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, continues to pursue a path of strategic autonomy. This approach is characterized by diversifying its defense partnerships and reducing dependency on any single nation. By engaging with multiple global powers, India aims to enhance its strategic flexibility. This policy reflects India's desire to assert its sovereignty and navigate an increasingly multipolar world. The current global environment is marked by uncertainty and rapid changes. Both India and Russia are navigating these turbulent waters, seeking stability and security. Their bilateral relationship, built on decades of trust and cooperation, plays a crucial role in their respective foreign policies. As they face new challenges, the quest for stability remains a central theme in their diplomatic engagements.